Where the hell are all the title fights? Okay, this graphic isn't 100% accurate, as we just got the announcement that Joshua Van is fighting Tatsuro Taira for the event in Miami, which is good. It moves the division and keeps these two active while we wait on Pantoja to recover. And post-editing note, apparently the UFC announced that Dana White is going to announce some fights later today, which could completely change all of the things I said in this video, so kind of poor timing on me. But as of now, shit is looking dry. And yeah, I know, every time around the beginning of every year, it's like this as the UFC tries to cook up fights, but still, around this time last year, we still had a solid idea of the fights to come. Dricus du Plessis beat Sean for the second time in the beginning of last year, and everybody knew that DDP versus Khamzat was the next fight to make. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev was already set by this point, Bilal was set to face Shavkat, so on and so forth. By this time last year, the top contenders were pretty much all set to fight the champion at some point in the year. But now, again, outside of Joshua Van, no champions have a fight officially set, with most not even having a contender lined up or at least rumored to fight. Most of the champions right now are either injured, gunning to move up, or both, which is pretty much stalling every single division and preventing us from having any sort of title fights this year. So where are all the champions? Alright, starting off, we need to talk about the middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight fiasco. So this whole domino effect really starts at the top with Tom Aspinall, the first champion on our list, with no title fight in the near future. Of course, Cyril Gane eye-poked Tom to the point of multiple surgeries and is now looking like he's going to be out indefinitely. So with no timeline on Tom Aspinall's return, there's been rumors, and only rumors, that Cyril Gane and Alex Pereira are going to headline some card for the interim heavyweight title to keep the division moving. Additionally, Alex Pereira just posted that he's like 240 pounds now and looks like the size of a real heavyweight. Then you have all these subliminal posts from Alex, which may or may not mean that he has a fight lined up. Same with Cyril Gane. And then Dana recently said at a press conference that Alex has done so much for the company that he deserves to move up to heavyweight. Meaning it's highly possible Alex Pereira relinquishes his title at 205 to move up. And as much as I hate champions moving up divisions, relinquishing the title and messing up the title picture for two divisions, if anyone deserves it, it's Alex Pereira. Like Dana said, he's a company man, especially in the last 2 years, as he stepped up to the plate and pretty much fought everybody he needed in a timely manner. And outside of Olberg, he's beaten everyone in the top 5 at light heavyweight. With Alex also being in the tail end of his career, he's probably only in store for the absolute biggest fights and only a few fights. So with those little fights he has left, one of those has to be a heavyweight fight, and Cyril Gane makes way too much sense right now for the interim title. I've been saying this, but with both guys being huge, fantastic strikers, this is going to be a very deadly high-level kickboxing match. But for the time being, until Dana and the UFC can sort out a heavyweight move for Alex, he remains sidelined and without a fight booked. But here's the thing, this heavyweight move has a disgusting domino effect for the lower divisions. With no light heavyweight champion in this move, there were rumors that Yuri Prochazka and Carlos Olberg were going to go at it for the vacant light heavyweight title. And like previously mentioned, Dana White is going to announce some fights later today, and I'm fairly certain it's going to be the main event of UFC 327 in Miami. It is officially confirmed on the UFC website that Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira is just the co-main, and the headliner of this card is yet to be announced, which I think is going to happen today. And ESPN also accidentally leaked that it's going to be a light heavyweight title fight, so it could be Alex Pereira fighting again and defending his belt, but it could also be the Carlos Olberg versus Yuri Prochazka fight for a potentially vacant light heavyweight title, which I think makes a lot of sense given they're both coming off of big wins, and we're kind of over Magomed Ankalaev being in the title picture. But then out of nowhere, we started getting rumors of Khamzat fighting Yuri for the vacant light heavyweight title. Khamzat, like mentioned in my previous video, is sidelined due to injury and won't be fighting until after Ramadan, which ends in late March, but expressed that if he returns, he wants to move up to light heavyweight. He's been calling out Alex for years, but with Alex potentially moving up to heavyweight, there's been a serious rumor that he might fight Yuri for the light heavyweight belt. But granted, this time, Dana, in the same press conference where he said he was okay with Alex moving up, fortunately said that Khamzat needs to defend his title before moving up, which, thank God, I did not need to see Khamzat move up and then ruin another division and leave middleweight with Sean and DDP again. We need Khamzat beating the middleweight contenders and defending his belt and actually being active in his division and active in general. But with Khamzat injured and probably bitching about wanting to move up in the next couple of months, I reckon we won't see Khamzat fight for a very, very long time, let alone have a fight booked. Moving down to 170, we have a similar situation of a champion wanting to fight a guy no one wants to see them fight, instead of fighting the actual top contenders. Islam Makhachev, the newly crowned welterweight champion, has been talking some bullshit about wanting to fight Kamaru Usman, who's currently the 7th ranked contender, coming off of a win of Joaquin Buckley, and is like 50 years old. This is just a slap in the face for even mentioning it as a rumor, considering how stacked of a division welterweight is now, especially in the top 5. You have young killers like Ian Gary, Michael Morales, and Carlos Prates, and instead, you're saying an old, way out of prime Kamaru is your toughest challenge? Give me a break, dude. We have been getting some rumors that the UFC White House event could possibly feature Islam Makhachev versus Ian Gary, which would be a great matchup. But again, these are just unconfirmed rumors with practically no substance. But with Islam Makhachev downplaying a fight between him and Ian Gary, saying it's Khabib versus Conor from AliExpress, and him continually saying that Kamaru is his toughest matchup, it's looking like it's going to take a lot of negotiating with Islam to get him a fight with someone that fans actually want to see. And until then, we have yet another champion without a confirmed fight in the Big 26 so far. Moving down a step further, you have Ilia Topuria, the man everyone wants to see fight. He just finished up his legal battles with his ex-wife and is looking like he came out winning. With that out of the way, this is the first champion on the list that pretty much has a clear next opponent, and of course, that's the recently crowned interim lightweight champion, Justin Gaethje. It sucks. Obviously, it should have been Arman, but it is what it is. Justin beat Paddy fair and square, at least for the most part, and is now the interim champion and has to unify the belts. We've been getting some strong rumors that Justin Gaethje is fighting Ilia Topuria at the White House, and unlike the other rumors, it does make a lot of sense with even Justin wanting to have this happen at the White House. And having an American star like Justin try to do the impossible task of beating Topuria to become champion would be a great headliner. But with the UFC White House card seemingly looking like a logistic nightmare and Dana White being hush-hush on the matchmaking, I think it's going to be a very, very long time until we get Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje actually official, confirmed for the White House card. At 145, obviously Volk just fought, so that's why we don't have a fight booked for him. And with Movsar and Lerone Murphy underway at the end of March, Volk should have a clear next opponent with the winner of that next fight. But considering, again, this doesn't happen until late March, I don't think we're going to get an official announcement for Volk's next fight until maybe April or May, so he's essentially sidelined until then. Then moving down to 135, we have the newly crowned champion Petr Yan, who unfortunately is injured and had to get back surgery and is going to be in rehab for a few months, which really sucks. With Petr Yan giving us one of the greatest performances of all time, I was so hyped to see him in his second reign take on the dogs at 135, but alas, we probably won't see him fight until the summer. Me personally, I would really favor the fight between him and Umar. That would be a high-level fight and probably the most skilled mixed martial arts match we'll ever see. Both guys are so technical in the stand-up as well as the ground and would make for an interesting matchup. But you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing Merab and Yan trilogy, considering how awesome the second fight was. I would be very interested to see what adjustments Merab makes in the third fight and how Yan is going to react to said adjustments in this fight. And then shit, you also have a potential Sean rematch. Also very high level striking that's bound to have exciting moments like the first fight. And of course you have a really good storyline going in as the first fight ended in a very controversial decision, and now that Petr Yan is champion, he needs to get that robbery back. Man, Petr as champion is so exciting given the matchups at 135 and how deep his bag is, but it really sucks that we're probably not going to see him throughout the first half of the year. So yeah, that is why 7 of the 8 champions are not booked for this year and probably don't have a next contender completely lined up. Only Ilia Topuria, like I said, basically has a next opponent, but everybody else is injured, wants to move up, wants to ruin divisions, wants to make crazy moves and not defend their title. It's absolutely ludicrous that we basically have no title fights lined up except for Van versus Tatsuro Taira. Hopefully the UFC White House event makes up for it. Hopefully whatever move Alex Pereira makes up for it. But anyways, what are you guys' thoughts on the current title picture in all of the divisions? Which fights are we actually going to get this year? What's going to be the first big title fight we're going to get this year? Where the hell is Alex Pereira going? Is he going to go up to heavyweight and fight Cyril Gane, which is the one I'm the most excited for? Which fights are you excited for? Anyways, thank you guys for always supporting, and I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Peace.